Good morning. Today is Monday, August 17th. August 16th, 2021. I was talking to a close friend and business colleague about some young, I guess, businessmen or some young guys that we've been trying to coach up to be more, to improve their business acumen, to be more effective in their process of finishing tasks, learning how to deal with customers, improve the skill set. And it triggered a stream of conversations about the efforts that have been put forth over years. And I look at Jesus saying, give a thing 3 years, and if it bears no fruit, then let it go. Because the point I'm trying to get to is, at what point do we give up? And I know if God tells you not to quit, then you keep going. And the Christian thing to do is keep sowing seed, but these are not our children. But then again, at the same time, these are our young men. So the dichotomy is truly a double-edged sword of, I'm telling you and showing you, and even in my own success, showing you that improving your skill set and improving in your craft will get you into better places. And these guys want to get paid on their terms, want to pay out on their terms. And it's just like, are you understanding the difference of people with whom you deal, the terms that you agree to, the responsibility as well as the irresponsibility that has gone on or must take place, the responsibility that must take place in order to get things done, the irresponsibility that has taken place that has not gotten things done. And if you do a job and somebody has to come behind you, the job is not done. And at the very least, you should go back and fix, or be willing to go back and fix whatever it is that has not been fixed. I even look at it with relationships, toxic relationships, and it doesn't even have to be a male-female intimate relationship or just intimate relationship. It can be just people you deal with, whether in business or we were friends at one time and things have grown apart or whatever. It's like, at what point do you give up? At what point does the loyalty expire? Is loyalty to a fault always a case? And some people I look at, they want to throw people away, but don't realize what they broke in a relationship. I reflect on one situation. It's like, all the stuff that you've broken, materially, emotionally, mentally, all the stuff that you've broken, not to mention covenant, but you still trying to spew out criticisms and assumptions. And it's just like, do you try and explain and it's like, no, why try and explain to this person who got their mind blinded, seared. 1 Timothy, seared with a hot iron. Or is it Ephesians? It's in both of them. But, it's like, at what point? And what I really realize is, at what point do we let people go? And what I really realize is, after you've put your time in and you've given your best, you got to cast that care on God. You cannot take that stress on. At the end of the day, these are all God's children or creations, whether they receive being in the kingdom or not. These cares have to be cast on Him, because He does care for all of us. And I just look at, even when okay, let's say Black Lives Matter, but do Black Lives matter to some black folks, or African American, or whatever we want to label some people of Melanite descent? And when fighting mindsets, and that's what the real issue is, fighting mindsets. When you're dealing with folks who didn't have the father figure that's, I'm gonna say this from Bishop Jakes, when he says paternal, the example to model the behavior of a man. And that goes for women too, because if you never had a pattern to understand, this is how men think, work, take responsibility on, engage, disengage, then there is some shortcomings in understanding when dealing with a man. And today it's difficult to find people to exhibit the character needed to succeed. It's so much selfishness out here that it's just like, at what point? At what point are you willing to listen and receive instruction? Do you even respect the instruction being delivered? Do you have any value of the character that goes into the work? And I'm thinking about two young men in early 30s, and it's like, you could really be great, but you sorry. I don't know no other way to put it. When you when you do an incomplete job, it's just not done. And people want to get paid, want to stop on a job, want to walk off on a job, and still want to get paid. That does not work. It don't work. It don't matter how much work you put in. If you're not finished, it's just not finished. If you want to be a boss, and there has to be some terms of engagement. You can't be a boss and try and finesse people and cheat them out of money. You can't do that. If you want to ride around in fancy cars, it calls for that. There's responsibility that has to be taken for that. I don't see people understanding. It's different ways to make easy money today. You got access to stocks. I made a nice chunk of change off Bitcoins. Whew. Just letting stuff sit. And it was just like, recognize, even if I make fast money, and I'm not even talking about dealing in anything illegal, if what responsibility am I taking with those things? Am I paying my bills? Am I taking care of stuff around the house? Do I let stuff go so long that it decays and it's no good anymore? I mean, like, and not to mention the stress of just being a human being, period. The daily routine of I gotta eat, I gotta navigate through this world, deal with different peoples. Every day has its own level of stress, work detail, or what have you. So, and all of this conversation started with trying to figure out, like, how do I communicate to this guy that I've talked to over and over and over again without going in and saying, hey, look, man, you really could be great, but you just not doing what you need to do. And this has been on my heart for a minute, because he called me and said, hey, you need some help? And I'm like, yeah, I need some help. But two things that is killing me: you walk off jobs, you sit around more than you work. A little, well, for my taste, you sit around too much for my taste of putting in work. And you'll leave the job site, and your skill set, it's not like you're trying to improve your skill set. Even on the stuff that you do, it's not like you're trying to perfect that craft. You're doing the same level of work that you did, you know, when I met you. So it's just like, nah, I can't use you, because if I got to come behind you, if I had to come right behind you and do the same stuff I asked you to do, I'm throwing my money away, my time away, and getting frustrated because you're not doing what I asked you to do. How, you know, the $1 million question is, how do we reach these young guys? Just how? How do we reach them? And if you don't reach them at an early age, I mean, it's pretty much over with. And it's amazing how these guys are raised. And I'm not talking about these specific guys, but I'm just looking at all the years of dealing with the male mindset, the male who was raised with structure and standard versus the hustle mentality, growing up as a gangbanger. And even if you ain't a Crip blood disciple, whatever these titles are, growing up with a thug mentality, but now I want to be a businessman, and I even think of a guy my age, probably a year or two older than me, still holding on to that mentality. And it's just like, that's the glass ceiling for so many people, your mindset. And I mean, I totally cut ties with that guy, but it's just like, this brokenness is an epidemic with several males who could be really great men, and I look at them raising sons and daughters, or not even dealing with their kids because they so out for self, and you leave the woman and whatever mate she chooses after you with the responsibility of the day-to-day training of your child. And I look at I mean, I'm not with my son every day, but I look at these times I'm around other folks' kids and their sons and daughters, and even if they don't like me, just saying, hey, this is the standard of how stuff be. Hey, you're not gonna talk to your mother or whatever around me. Even if I'm in a customer's place and I see a kid being disrespectful, I'm like, hey, look, that lady putting food on the table for you or whatever. Calm that down. Even if these, for the most part, strangers to me, I check it, but it's just like sometimes that ain't welcomed. I'm not even gonna say sometimes. A lot of times it's not welcome. But and I'm not even trying to put my value system on somebody else, saying my personal values. I'm like, this is just what, and a lot of people appreciate me, checking the kid, or somebody else saying like, thank you. See, I've been telling you that the whole while. Just saying, because I'm just like, I mean, in the Bible it say honor thy mother and father. My pastor preached a whole sermon on that. It's just like, you need to honor your parents. And I mean, I even, like, if me and my dad, and my dad, I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what my dad ever did in life. My dad, one of the best dads ever in the freaking world. Ever. Stayed with my mama, doggone, did the best he could, and didn't have a father with himself. Man. Anyway, let me get off that, because I'm gonna get emotional thinking about that. But even when him and I, have some not so comforting conversations, I still go back, hey, look, I was wrong for the tone I spoke with you. I apologize. Man, we just talking. I don't care nothing about all that. I said, but I do. You know what I'm saying? You still my dad, and I still love you, and, I appreciate where you at, but at the same time, I gotta make sure I'm respecting you. And even when you asking me to do something I don't want to do, I'm still gonna do it. Like when I cut your grass, I don't want to get the grass up. I just want to cut it go. But I'm still go get your grass up. Cause that's what you want done. That's how you want your yard done. So okay, cool. Take a little extra time, whatever. So, but anyway, and I mean, but my dad started or developed a relationship with me when I was young. So the trust with him is established, and it's just like with these other guys, some trust is established, but it's not all the way there. And with that, it's just like, how do we not just establish trust with these guys, but get them to understand that, hey, I'm not sitting up here trying to tell you something that I'm not doing myself, that I'm not modeling and using to make me successful and improve and do better. I do believe that sometimes you gotta let a person marinate long enough to recognize that they stuff stinks, and you gotta let them go. I mean, Jesus said 3 years, and if God ain't put it on your heart or assigned you to this person, man, hey, let that self-effort go. Pray about it and leave it alone. You can't save everybody. And it's not your job to plant the seed and let God give the increase. Plant the seed and let God give the increase. Y'all have a good day. And I don't know the key to helping these guys other than show by example as best you can. And we not perfect either. But lead by example. And one day, at least they'll say, hey, I saw somebody do it right, or do it better.